Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into my channel. So today's video will be teaching you guys how to contour and highlight and blush. Yeah, so if you're interested on to learn how to get this look, keep on watching. Super excited. Alright guys, so let's get started. So in order to begin this look, I'm gonna be highlighting, and the concealer that I'm using today will be the Tarte concealer. I don't know the shade of this one in particular, but most of the time I'm always the lightest shade in everything that I get. I know, fair people problems. Anywho, I'm gonna be grabbing some of this onto my finger, like about that much, and that's enough for me to cover, I think, my whole face, but most, yeah. So what I do, I just dot it on, put it on my mustache. Yeah, so I just dotted it on the places that I wanted to highlight. If you have like that dark area above your lip, I like to call it a mustache. Put a lot of concealer there. Make sure you get that nice and covered. And then I go in with the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the shade 15, Fair Clair. I definitely need a new one. But the reason I keep using it, even though it's empty, is because I just like the applicator. It really helps me just put the concealer exactly where I need it. So I just like to make a V shape under my eye, like so. And I know a lot of people go in with their concealer first and then they go in with another concealer that's a lot lighter to highlight. You can do that. I mean, it's completely optional. The reason I don't do it though is because I have extremely dry skin, and I find that when I do that, it cakes up and it gets really dry and flaky, and it's not a good look. For me, at least. So that's why I'm doing it this way. There's various ways to blend this in. Personally, I prefer a stippling brush or a beauty blender. I find that I get more coverage with a stippling brush, but I can't find it at the moment, so I'm using my beauty blender. So always remember, you want to use stippling motions. And you want to pounce it on your skin, like literally beat your face. You don't want to slide it because it will just make it look smudgy. Alright, so I'm all done blending in my concealer. Before I set my under eyes and the rest of my face, I'm just going to be jumping in with any other cream or liquid products that you'll be using. The only other product that I'm going to be using is this little guy right here. This is the Benefit What's Up. This is a sample size, but it's basically a stick highlight. Super small and cute. The reason you want to put this on before you apply any other powder is because one, is going to cake up on powder, and two, if you put a liquid or cream highlight under your powder highlight, oh my god, you'll be glowing for days. Like, so you're gonna be putting the highlight on the high points of your face. So for me, I like to put it on the highest points of my cheek, which is here, and I bring it up to my temple. Wait, is your temple? Yeah, your temple. Another place that I like to put it is here, like right above the arch of my brow, right there. This is completely optional. If you have a really big forehead or you're insecure about your forehead for whatever reason, keep in mind that when you highlight places of your face, it's just gonna bring it out. People are gonna notice it right away. So if you're insecure about your forehead, don't highlight your forehead. Same thing goes for your nose. If you don't like your nose, if you feel like it's too big, don't highlight your nose because people will look at it. Like, it'll be the first thing people see. So with this, I like to just put a little ball on the tip of my nose, and then I make like a line. So I dab it on like that, and I make a 9 on the bridge of my nose. Another place where I like to put it is on my Cupid's bow. But for that, I'm going to be using a brush, and I'll show you which brush right now. This brush, I think I got it in my Ipsy bag a month or two ago. It's from Crown Royale, and the tip looks like this. It looks super gross because I went out last night and I used this. And I haven't washed it since, so I'm just going to grab a little bit like that. And I'm going to be putting it on my Cupid's bow. Right there. And then taking this side of the brush, it's a double-sided brush. So taking this side of the brush, make sure it's clean, and I'm gonna be grabbing more product and putting it on the arch of my brow. All right, let's leave that alone. A lot of people like to put some in the chin. I'm not gonna grab any extra product, but whatever's on the brush, I like to put on my chin. Okay. Okay, so now that we're done highlighting our face, you want to go back in with your beauty blender and make sure to remove all the creases from under your eye before setting your concealer. I'm going to be using It's Cosmetics by Pore in the shade Translucent. And I'm just going to be stippling that under my eyes. There and only there. Okay, now before I set the rest of my face, I want to go in with my highlight. So you want to just make sure that wherever you're highlighting your face, you're not setting that with a translucent or a foundation powder. Try to avoid those places. I mean, some people will set it with a translucent powder, but I feel like it takes away the kabam, the whole look that you're going for. I really feel like it defeats the purpose. I'm going to be going into the Anastasia Beverly Hills Self-Made palette. And I'm going to be using this shade right here, which I hit pan on literally, I think the second week that I got I hit pan on this shade, Treasure, like the second week that I had this palette, because that is such an amazing highlight shade. I use that shade to highlight my whole face, and you'll see me do that right now. So I'm going to grab this little guy again, and I'm just going to set my inner tear. So I'm just going over all the places I put that cream highlight, and that's just basically to set it. I want like full glam. I'm going to be using, instead of a translucent setting powder, I'm going to be using a powder foundation. I do have really dry skin, so I can't use this like under my eyes and that kind of stuff, but I can use it like on the lower half of my face. So that's what I'll be doing today. This is also by It's Cosmetics, and it's in the shade Fair. So some people don't set their whole face. I think especially if you're going out, you should set your whole face to make sure that, one, your makeup lasts long, and two, it's just easier to blend out your bronzers and whatever other powders you're going to be applying later. Got an itch on my nose. Did I just realized I don't think I set this guy right here. We're not doing that, not today. We're gonna make sure we set that. Do it for the tube. Do it for the tube. Now, picking up my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit, I'm gonna be using the shade Java, which is right over here, and I'm gonna be using that to contour. Alright, my favorite brush to use is this little guy right here. This came in like a palette that someone gave me. It was a highlighting and contour palette. The product sucked, but their brush is good. It's good. It reminds me of the, what is it? I think it's the NARS brush that it's flat. Do you know what I'm talking about? I don't know what I'm talking about. I know what it looks like, but I don't know the name. Whatever. Anyways, it reminds me of that brush. So if you can find a brush that's super flat, I think this is so easy to just like get a precise line, because sometimes when you're messing with bronzers, it can really get messy. Up this brush and this shade Java by Anastasia, I'm just gonna be carving out where I want my contour to be. So right there. Lately I've been putting it a little higher, so you're gonna put it normally where your natural shades are, and that's kind of like where the hollow of your cheek is, which is more over here. Personally, because I have a rounder face, I like to put it a little higher up. And then when you blend it, it's gonna go down anyways. So you're gonna pick up product, knock the excess off. That's why I keep tapping. Doo-doo-doo. And if you notice, I'm not blending it in. I kind of just throw it on there and then I blend it in later, and I'll show you how I do that right now. Alright, so I'm all done with this. That's the darkest shade. I'm going to be picking up this brush right here. This brush is from It's Cosmetics, and it's their all over brush. I really like this brush for blending my contour, I really like this brush for blending my bronzers, and yeah, and that's it. So the bronzer that I'm going to be using today is the Butter Bronzer by Physician Formula. So when you're blending, you can, I don't like to go like this. I kind of just like almost brush it on the same side and then also go in circular motions. So it's like white, white, circle, circle, white, white, circle, circle. That makes sense. I used to, and it's so crazy. I know sometimes it feels like, why are you stating the obvious? But I feel like when I first got into makeup, I'm self-taught, and I learned a lot of stuff off of YouTube. And people would say things like, prep your eyelids or prime your eyelids using concealer. And I legit would think, why every time I prime my eyelids with concealer, it creases? Because people forget to say the little things like, oh, set it with powder. That makes all the difference in the world. So if I sound like I'm just saying things that seem so basic, it's because there's people out there, I guarantee you, that do not know. Do not know. Okay, so when I'm blending out my contour here, I don't want to bring it down. If you notice, I'm kind of bringing it up to my highlight. And I don't want to bring it too in either. So, round, round, swipe, swipe. Round, round, swipe, swipe. Now, I bet every time you blend things in, that's what you are gonna sing to yourself. Round, round, swipe. An e.l.f. one at your local drugstore for like $3. And I'm gonna be picking up this shade right here. It's called Plum Radiance by Laura Mercier. So I'm just gonna be putting the blush in between my highlight and my contour. And I know people think this may be backwards. Some people like to put their blush first, but I kind of feel like it just all goes on so much more seamless when I do it in this order. This is so pretty. So that's it for my blush. Now I'm just gonna finish off my eyes, which I know was not part of this tutorial, but I'm just gonna speed. Alright guys, this concludes my video. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Remember, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Love you guys. Bye.